So this time I got to speak with Gigi or Giulia Maglio, Italian sake educator and part-time brewer in a Japanese sake brewing in Japan. How fabulous is that? So she's been doing so many fabulous things in sake. Thank you, Gigi.
I can say in my everyday life, I can see that I've been treated differently or just because it's a plus. And I'm just a female, but I'm also a female foreigner. So there's like these two different layers. When it comes to the sake world specifically, it's it's interesting because I know that basically sake world it's a male world. Okay. There's no female, at least there weren't any females up until a few decades ago. So when I went to Izumo to work for Itakura Brewer for the first time, I was very concerned because it's a very traditional brewery. It's a very local place. Maybe I won't be as welcome, but they were the most welcoming. On the other hand, the problem or what I can see that the gender gap is on the promoting side, on the event side and tastings and events side of sake. A lot of times I saw we trust more an older gentleman compared a young lady or maybe a young girl to introduce sake. Yeah, I'm not exactly your typical sake sommelier. Probably also I do have tattoos. I have piercing on my face, so that also might be an extra layer of can we trust this person? Sometimes. Hi,
Hi, Gigi.
how are you?
It's so great to finally talk to you.
Finally, we made it. No,
Oh, thank you so much for today, Gigi. Julia.
sure, of course. Call me whichever. I'll answer to whichever. Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to chat with you.
Me too. I've been excited since last night. or last week, rather.
Yeah, love it. Love it.
I like all the sake bottles behind you.
Oh, this is my playroom, So I have all my sake here, and also you cannot see it, but it's also down here to have all my sake around.
Oh, fantastic. Julia, you are an Italian sake educator in Japan and also a part-time brewer.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Yeah, you are so special. And
Thanks.
first of all, how did you get into sake in the first place?
Right. Well, it was kind of like a natural thing happening because after moving to Japan, I started working in the tourism industry and I was doing food tours. And so, of course, I was learning about Japanese food culture. And with food always comes drinks as well.
Yeah.
And to be honest, at the beginning, I just really wanted to know enough to just introduce sake to my customers. I never thought that this was going to be the beginning of a journey, really.
Yeah.
And that's how everything started with me just researching just a little bit of informations and then finding myself wanting to know more and trying different sake. And so it led me to where I am today. So it's been a fun journey. So I'm excited for the future.
Yeah, but why did you come to Japan in the first place? It's so intriguing from Italy.
Yeah. So my first time I came here, like I guess everybody else, just for tourism. I just wanted to come here, just a couple of weeks, see Japan, and then go back to Italy and get back to my regular life. But then I just fell in love with the culture, the country. Everything was so different, but interesting as well. Yeah, so I came here my first time for tourism like everybody else. just a couple of weeks. I visited several cities, and I find myself like wanting to come back again and again. So I started studying the language, and I came here as a student for ryugaku for 6 months to learn Japanese.
Oh, wow.
And well, yeah. So fast forward everything. Now it's been 7 years.
Wow.
So it's everything changed because I actually in uni I was studying law, and then I came to Japan and everything changed. And I was like, I don't care about anything else. I just want to come to Japan.
You're like the opposite of me. You're a European in Japan, and I'm like a Japanese in Europe. So it's like opposite sisters.
Yeah. We just
Yeah,
switched.
exactly. And where in Italy are you from? Whereabouts in Italy are you from?
So I'm from Torino. Torino
Torino,
is
yeah.
in northwest, really close to France. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, Torino to Asakusa is quite a quite a big jump. And so now,
It is a big jump.
yeah, and now you're working as a sake educator, as Gigi Sake in Japan. Yeah, it's so fantastic.
Yeah.
And do you teach Italians or Japanese or just anybody who's interested?
So I do teach in English, and I do also like events and tastings that could be
Yeah.
either in English or Italian. That depends, but I mostly have international guests.
Yeah.
So I mostly use English, but I do have sometimes Japanese customers too for events and sometimes for the courses as well, which is exciting.
Yeah, that's really exciting. I love the idea of learning sake from Italian sake educator. I think it's super special.
The pairing with Italian food and sake is the special one, really. So
Exactly. And you're also a part-time brewer as well.
yes. So my first experience was 3 winters ago.
Yeah.
I went down to Shimane Prefecture to Izumo, and that time was really for just like a short experience. Again, for me, personal study.
Yeah.
But once again, I fell into the rabbit hole. And so I went back last season, and
Yeah, I
this
remember. I
season as
love
well.
the
So
stories.
yeah, I'm going back. So I'll be there from the beginning of December, and this year I'm gonna do the
That's
whole
next
season.
week. Wow. So, Gigi, and during this time, like for your part-time brewing and for education, have you encountered any gender biases in Japan, which is, Japan in terms of, gender equality index globally, it's really bad. It's like 116 out of God knows what, 146 countries, I think, in the 2022 ranking. So have you experienced or like any gender barriers as you work in Japan? Because you're very special that you're actually working in Japan.
Yeah, I mean, I can say in my everyday life, sometimes I do encounter some problems, or I can see that I've been treated differently, or just because it's a plus. And I'm just a female, but I'm also a female foreigner. So there's like these two different layers. When it comes to the sake world specifically, it's interesting because because I know that basically sake world it's a male world. Okay. There's no female, at least there weren't any females up until a few decades ago. So when I went to Izumo to work for Itakura Brewery for the first time, I was very concerned because it's a very traditional brewery. It's a very local place. Maybe I won't be as welcome. but they were the most welcoming. And that's, of course, why I'm going back.
Yeah.
On the other hand, the problem, or what I can see that the gender gap is on the promoting side, on the event side and tastings and events side of sake. Like being, again, foreigner also, that might be also a problem, but also a female. And I have to say, being also a different generation, like maybe younger than a lot of other people in the industry, a lot of times I saw we trust more an older gentleman compared a young lady or maybe a young girl to introduce sake. It's that's kind of like sometimes what happens, which is it's interesting to me to see that, because the people in the brewery like working with me, I mean me working with them, actually they had no problem with me at all. But people in the industry might have some troubles with me. Also, I'm not exactly your typical sake sommelier. Probably also I do have tattoos, I have piercing on my face, so that also might be an extra layer of can we trust this person? Sometimes I don't know.
I love that yours is extra special.
I don't know, but it's a very traditional industry, right? So
Absolutely, yeah. And when you went to Izumo in the first place, were there any female brewers in the brewery itself, or were you the only one? Or
yes, actually there were. So actually this season, I'll be the only, for the first time since I've been there, I'll be the only female in the brewery, because there used to be another female brewer until last year, but then she moved into a new brewery now.
all right, that's exciting. So next week onwards, you're going to go to Izumo.
Yes, I'm so excited, really.
So, and you're doing so many fantastic things in sake. So you're part-time brewer, you're an educator, and you also have a podcast. And what's your focus
Yeah.
right now?
So I'm doing a lot of different things. Of course, the focus is to promote sake. I'm trying to do it in both languages, so English and Italian as well. As you said, I do have this website, which is Sake.
Yeah,
So
I love
use
it. I was just looking at it. It's so fabulous.
Oh, thank you.
And the blog too.
Thank you. That I have to say, with all the COVID situation, of course, there were no tourists here. So that gave me, like, if we want to look for a positive side, a positive way to look at the whole situation, is that I had actually time to build my own website by myself and everything I do basically by myself. So that gave me the time to also, with my partner Cindy, also to start this new sake podcast. I also do have an Italian project called Sake Sisters.
That's right. Oh, tell me more about it. That's so fascinating. And because I have no idea what the sake situation in Italy is like. And what is that like? Is it like in Spain where it's a pocket of interest, or anyway, what is I'm so curious.
So people really, like, Italian people really love anything that has to do with Japan in general, like Japanese culture, Japanese food as
Just
well.
like how Japanese people love anything to do with Italy.
Yes. So there is a big interest in Japan and Japanese culture too. So the sake is still kind of niche, but there is sake that is being imported, I should say exported to Italy. And little by little, people are more interested in like discovering this drink. So when I actually was in Italy in the summer, and I was sharing sake with my friends, with my family, and everybody was just loving it because it's such a new thing for them. But they all found it delicious, and they were actually everybody around me was like, "Hey, why don't we have this sake while we eat this dish or that dish?" So they were also very curious to try it with Italian food as well. So more and more people is interested in sake. And so, but there aren't as many informations in Italian yet because everything is in English.
Right, right.
So me and she's my sister really because we know each other. It's more than 20 years. So we
Right.
grew up together.
Okay.
And she is a wine sommelier. Recently also started studying about sake, and she became also sake sommelier. And we decided to start this project together to bring more, information, share more love about sake in Italy. So it's not really educational, like we're not at school, we don't do courses, but it's more about really sharing the love. That's what it is.
Yeah, fabulous. I see. Oh,
So that's a lot of things.
yeah. Oh, it's really fabulous. And then going back to when you mentioned about like in terms of the gender gap, the generation gap, and how
Yes.
you might be special, like not the typical, let's say sake sommelier. How do you overcome that kind of stereotype, not stereotypes, but those kind of thinking by others?
Right. I think the best way to do so is just keep doing what you do. Like, this is me, this is my style, and this is what I have to offer. So I use that as I am an alternative to what's out there already. So this is what I do. And I'm so happy because I'm still very small, of course, in the community, but I see people coming back to me, telling me, the first event I joined with you was so great. Tell me when you have another one. And so people keep coming back. And it's a small community still, but it's growing. So I'm just gonna
Great.
focus on that instead of looking at what's around. I'm just gonna focus on what I do and what I know I can deliver, and that's gonna be my way to do
Absolutely. I love it.
it.
And what about like in terms of your long-term plan? What do you have in mind? Do you plan to go back to Italy or you'll be in Japan? Well, of course, the future is completely open, but do you have
Yeah.
like ideas in terms of your long-term goals?
So I would love to. I love being in Japan. I love living here, and I would love to be based in Japan, but be able to do a bit of back and forth to kind of like trying to make Japan and Italy a little bit closer, even, well, theoretically. That would be
Julia Bridge.
yes,
The
yes, yes,
Julia
yes, yes, the
Bridge.
Gigi Bridge in between. That I'd really love to have the possibility, and still, of course, the main goal is to bring sake to Italy. So who knows? Maybe one day I'll be also really be the one bringing more sake to Italy.
Yeah.
So that's of course a very
Oh, I
long
can
dream.
totally see it. And
Yeah.
there's brewery in Italy, right? The sake brewery in Italy?
Yes. 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 Yes.
Yeah. Have you tried
I
it? I haven't tried it, but I've been so curious. I've seen the bottles and
I was this close to also go and visit them and try the sake. Unfortunately, I haven't had the chance. Going back to Italy after 3 years, it
yeah,
was so amazing, but so chaotic in a way that
I
it's
can
already over.
imagine. It's like me
Like
going
I'm
back
back.
to Japan.
Yeah. There's like so many people to see, so many things to do, and I'm already back to Japan. It's kind of like it's gone.
And
So
do you have any plans to come back to this side of the world soon? I mean, to visit? I hope to
Well,
see
to
you
visit,
sometime.
yeah. No, I'd love to come back. Well, after brewing season is over, definitely. So
Mm,
spring, maybe summer again.
okay. I'm hoping
Yeah.
to go back to Japan maybe springtime for the hanami.
Oh, yes, yes, yes. Finally, we can travel again.
Yeah, wow. So, Gigi, thank you. I'm so happy to speak with you. And you're really,
Yeah.
truly amazing because you're so special. A sake educator, Italian, doing
Thank
so
you.
many fantastic things for sake. So
No,
I
I'm
love, I
doing
love what you
minimum.
do.
So thank you so much for your time, Tim. I'm taking the time to chat with me. Yeah.
No, I was so excited. Thank you, Gigi.
Oh, thank you so much again. Oh, enjoy the rest of your day.